Grief. Okay, that's what I want to tackle today. This is something that's been weighing on my mind personally, but also professionally, because I want to talk about what we can do when we feel like we are drowning in a lot of grief and a lot of the big feelings, in the upheaval, in losing someone that was important to us, and all the complicated emotions that can show up when we're having that experience, and also how it impacts our clutter. When we're grieving, when we are trying to process the loss of someone, whether it's a recent loss or it's a previous loss, it can throw our life into an uproar. And sometimes one of the first things that kind of goes in our life is the state of our house. And when we are feeling like we have all of these really, really hard emotions, um, when there's, when you feel like weighed down, when you're crying a lot, when whether, you're letting it all out or you're trying to hold it all in, it can kind of feel like a really stormy sea, right? So internally, everything is kind of getting thrown about and it feels really, really turbulent. So in those moments, one of the things that we have a tendency to tell ourselves sometimes is, I just need to push through. Like, I just need to push through the hard stuff. I just need to not really pay attention to it. I need to not feel it. I just need to put, and this is the thing that comes up over and over again. I've done it to myself. I've heard it with my clients. Everyone says, push through, push through, push through. So I want to introduce the idea to you of maybe we don't push through. Okay, now that is not to say that if you are feeling overwhelmed and sad and depressed, that you park your car there permanently, right? This is kind of like a winding road trip. It's kind of like a road trip that maybe we didn't sign up for, that maybe we don't want to be on. And, you're driving through bad weather and it feels like a hurricane and you're getting tossed about. You don't want to park your car there. You may have to sit there for, kind of like take shelter, that kind of feeling. You may need to feel it for a little bit, but then I want you to start to make motions in your space with your body to help you process and actually move through this. Okay, so we're not talking about never feeling all the things, and we're not talking about drowning in feeling all the things to the point that we're not functioning. So what do we do if we struggle to function? Okay, we pick one thing, one really, really, really tiny thing to move forward. And if you haven't seen my video called I Might As Well, I want you to watch that as well, because that's a really good motivator to help us move through to the next thing in teeny tiny steps. So when we're grieving, it can be really hard to think about doing all the things like washing all the dishes. Sometimes it's a struggle to feed ourselves. So I want you to think of yourself as a glorified houseplant. Are you getting hydration? Okay. Are you getting nutrition? And by nutrition, I do not mean that all of your meals need to have top nutritional value, because I subscribe to the theory that fed is best. Just get something into your body. Okay. And are you getting a bit of sunshine? So whether that is you step outside for a couple of minutes, or you open the blinds, open the curtains, crack the window open a little bit, even in the dead of winter. So I live in Canada. We get some brutal winters. I will crack the windows open in wintertime sometimes, just to move the air around. Okay. That can be really good, just to kind of shift things a little bit for us. And is there one thing that you can do that is going to benefit you? Okay. Maybe you have a shower, right? Maybe you change the pillowcases on your bed. I'm not saying you have to strip the whole bed. You don't have to wash the comforter. You don't have to wash all the sheets. Maybe we just start with the pillowcases. Okay, because it feels really good when we are in bed and we flip the pillow, when you get to the cold side. I find that so refreshing. Maybe it's clearing off the top of your nightstand. Okay, because when you're in bed, we see a lot of our nightstand. We're interacting with it all the time. It's usually one of the first and last things we see when we're in bed, right? Well, we see it in the morning when we grab our glasses, we grab our phone, we see it at night when we turn the light off. So maybe you want to focus on your nightstand. Okay. Maybe while you're brushing your teeth, you give your bathroom counter a quick wipe down. Okay. All of these teeny tiny little decisions can help propel us forward so that our car is not constantly parked in the middle of the storm. Okay. I want you to feel your feelings. I think that they're really, really important. Okay. But I don't want you to get so lost in them that you feel like you're constantly drowning. And there are lots of things in the community that we can do. Sometimes if it's phone a friend, if it's getting out in nature, anything that you can do to help give your brain a job when you're struggling can be beneficial. One of the best things that we can do is if we pick something that has repetitive motion. If you look at babies who are distressed, what is one of the things that people do with a crying baby? They bounce them, they pat their back, they rock them in a rocking chair. You know, you'll see people holding babies, swinging them back and forth, right? Now, the constant motion is something that is relaxing to the baby because in utero, what we had was repetitiveness, right? Mom's heartbeat, being in fluid, right? That kind of just swings us back and forth. That's why babies find it really calming. You will also find that toddlers love repetitive motion. It also helps calm down their nervous system. And this is something that we forget as adults. Toddlers, they love the seesaw, they love the swings, they love running for like literally no reason whatsoever. I was driving the other day in a nursery let out at a local church, and I saw one boy just run across the yard. So then all of the other kids just followed him and they ran across the yard and they ran around a tree a couple of times. There was no purpose to this, right? It was just like, oh, look, I'm going to run. Running looks really, really fun. And all the kids just naturally do it, right? So as adults, when we do things like knitting, okay, I have lots of friends who are runners. I am not one of them. That doesn't speak to me. But running, hiking, walking, knitting, swimming, all of those things use repetitive motion. Okay, our nervous system likes repetitive motion. So if you are really, really struggling with grief, if you feel like you're drowning, I want you to remember you're passing through. You're not going to park your car there, right? Pick something small to help you move forward, something that's actually going to serve you. Don't do it because other people think you should be doing it. Do it because it serves you. Your nightstand, your pillowcase, brushing your teeth, wiping down the bathroom counter, not all of the things. Just pick one thing, right? Get a drink of water, get some fresh air, put food in your body, whatever that looks like, and choose what the next right thing is and see if you can incorporate some repetitive motion. Okay, that is naturally calming to the body. Even if you go to the dollar store and get a pack of crayons and a coloring book, I don't care how old you are. Okay, everybody's young at heart, right? Coloring is repetitive motion. These are things that don't require a lot of energy from our brain, but it gives us something to focus on. Okay, so that can be very beneficial to your mental health. So that's what I want to leave you with today. Okay, if you are drowning, don't park your car there. Next right thing, next right thing. Okay, we'll see you next week.